Shadow on the track. Let's get it. I'm a rock star type nigga, fucks bad bitches. See me in the drop cause I stay.
Welcome to another video with your boys here at M.A.S Media Podcast. This is your boy, Qfusion.
What's good, y'all? Double A.Heff here. Welcome back to the channel. We got a doozy for y'all. Hope y'all ready.
All right. So, yeah, guys, as you know, I mean, we celebrated our country's, I lost count, birthday. And, when I think that this is probably one of the more, as of recent times, this was probably one of the more contested, emotionally contested American birthdays that we've had in recent times. And I think that, a lot of people are sort of, there was a lot of pushback and blowback as far as whether or not we should be celebrating the country's birthday or, the coming of Roe versus Wade. And there's a lot of, and then obviously, there was the horrific, tragedy that took place at the parade in Chicago, Illinois, this past weekend. And we do wish, on the behalf of M.A.S Media Podcast, we do wish a speedy recovery to those who were injured, and our prayers are to the families that were lost during that, that horrible time. And I think that, when we see events like this, and obviously, again, I touched on the Roe versus Wade, there is a semblance of a tear in this country as far as whether or not this country really does have a sense of the freedoms that we say that we have, right? We say that we're one of the more free countries in the world. I think that now people more than ever are starting to question whether or not that is, in fact, a true statement, right? So what I want to do is, as you guys can see on the screen, this was a post. Don't mind the comments on the side. We're looking at the original post. My co-host reposted this post here that's up on the screen, and he got a lot of interesting feedback. So with that being said, what I'll do is turn it over to him so he can sort of touch base on the reaction.
All right. Thank you for that, Big Mike. So as Big Mike just stated, I did repost this yesterday on the 4th of July. And then I got a lot of feedback in the wee hours of the night into the early morning today. It actually took a very interesting turn because, I think this post kind of speaks for itself. I'll read it for you. The holiday you're celebrating only exists because people were armed. Happy 4th of July, America. Now, in my original post, I'll tell you what I said too. I want to give all the context here.
Yes,
I don't want, So I said, as my caption was, God bless America. And then in parentheses, I put, the God haters and the America haters will be quiet today, though. Now, obviously, we know that was not correct. They're still in my comments. So I posted that because, you'll hear the pundits like the Umar Johnsons like, oh, we shouldn't be celebrating 4th of July. That's what we have Juneteenth for, like, yada, yada, yada. Look, at the end of the day, I'm not even going to use the word like pride, because obviously pride is a sin. That's why the whole like LGBT like Pride Month, like that's a sin. Like not even just the actions that they do, the acts that they do, but the whole like Pride Month, like pride, gay pride, that's a sin. But obviously, I'm not shocked that they're going to be the ones out there, yelling pride, 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 being very proud. Pride goes before destruction. So moving on. I'm not going to use the word pride or proud. What I'll say is, like, there's a sense of ownership that quote unquote blacks have in America. Why? Because this is the only land that for the most part. And that's not even just reserved for quote unquote blacks. Anyone else that fits that category, if you want to celebrate 4th of July, then knock yourself the fuck out. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is the country that you're in, all that you know. And last time I checked, you're not going anywhere else. I don't see you trying to, get a different citizenship somewhere else. So again, it's not about pride. I think it's more just about like ownership and like what you have here. Like this is home. This is your home. So like at the end of the day, if you live in a goddamn a trap house, I mean, are you proud of that? No, not really. But that's still your damn home. You know what I'm saying? Like that's your home. So you have a level of respect for your home. So I think that obviously, like again, a lot of people on the left, and people like Umar Johnson and other voices I'm sure out there trying to make specifically quote unquote black people get away from celebrating holidays. If you want to be honest, we technically shouldn't be celebrating any holidays that aren't biblical. You know what I mean? If you want to be 100%. But aside from that, I'll digress a little bit. So that's what I put, and then I got some comments basically like affirming the post and my caption for the post. And then I got this one, and I'll read it. I'm not going to name any names, obviously, because I'm not petty over here. But I will read the comment. So this woman put, "Of course we're quiet. Why celebrate something when the meaning of it doesn't exist in this country?" Now, when she actually commented that, I did not know like really what she meant. I had an idea, but I was just like, well, that's just so far off base. If that's where she's trying to go, let me just probe and see where this ends up. So, I said, "You don't think you're free?" ? And again, this is me like asking a serious question to probe to see where exactly her thoughts are. And then she responds to me. And just for some reference context, this is a Caucasian woman. All right. She says, and she puts my name in it. She tags my name in it. She says, "No," answering the question, do you think this is a free country? No, I know I'm not. When the government tells half of the population what they can and can't do with their own bodies, then they aren't free. You're not even free as an African American man in this country. That was the first comment. So, Mike, what are your thoughts? Just up to that point. Let's bring you back into the fold, Mike. What are your thoughts? Just up into that point.
Oh man, so basically, man, what I'm gonna say is, I'm glad Roe v. versus Wade got overturned. So no, I'm just kidding. No, we're starting with some fire. No, seriously. On a serious note, this is something that has really been bugging me lately. I mean, I have personally chosen not to speak on certain topics, just because of the fact that it was very interesting that when we spoke, when I posted something beforehand about what's going on about with regards to certain people having the right to do said action and do any deletion, or not even deletion, just the fact of women should probably be more careful about advising other women to just be pushing off children and things of that nature.
Yeah.
I was told and met with like, oh well, why are you so involved? Like, why do you care so much about what women do with their bodies? And so that was a very interesting take. And then what's very funny to me is that not too long after the Roe v. Wade was overturned, I happened to see someone mention, somebody reposted a post about, oh, I see the boys are quiet. I see you guys not talking much. Well, what do you think happened? Like, you guys have been telling us for I would say maybe the last however many years to stay away from topics about your bodies. So now you want men to comment on shit that you've been telling us that we have no business even having conversations talking about in the first place. Now you guys want us to come and support.
Yeah, right?
like come on, like this is like the weirdest thing ever. Like and so and it's very, this is the reason why a lot of these movements to me have no standing, they have no direction, they have no merit, is because there's no integrity. Because if you're the same people that are telling men and vehemently telling men not to be commenting on this, then I don't see why you should be even, fixing your lips to worry about what men have to say on a topic that you've been shunning them and shaming them from speaking on it in the first place. So I say that all to say, coming back to this topic, when somebody says, I saw somebody mention something about, I don't know if you remember that this one person that's commented on something I wrote on the topic before, and she was trying to use victim blaming. Remember that one? Yeah, and she's like, yeah, and we're all victims of the government, and I'm just like, it just took me a second because I was aback. I just said aback. First of all, she guessed or assumed unrightfully so, that I was a Black Lives Matter movement
Yeah.
supporter,
Yeah.
and that I was passionate about it, which is insane to say. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to support my little sister, for the record, because, you know, and obviously I had been seeing the riots, so I wanted to make sure my little sister, if she was going to be going to those events, I wanted to make sure she was good. So it was good to be able to see people not, you know, acting ignorant, you know, and while the parading and stuff isn't something that I co-sign, I do appreciate the fact that my little sister was able to show some sort of stance on something, right?
Mm-hmm.
So and that's a freedom that she has, to be able to do that, to be able to parade in the open streets, and to be able to say no justice, no peace in the face of police officers. There are police officers lined up protecting people from potentially being harmed by anybody who a malcontent or something like that. So when I hear people talk about how, oh, you know, you don't have rights as an African American and all this, I'm like, I pretty much, I'm sure I do what I want with regards to that's within the bounds of the law. I don't walk around here thinking that there's some evil boogeyman that's setting me up to fail at all bounds. This shit is weird.
Yeah. No, you're hitting, man. You're hitting them all out the park. And for those just tuning in, obviously we're talking about Independence Day and what it means. Are we actually free? As you can see in the title, and a little back and forth that occurred on my Facebook platform. So to piggyback, based off what you said, Mike, we're at a sad state of affairs, because you brought up a great point about how, hey, y'all can't talk about this, but now the shit happens. Oh my God, what do y'all think about this? And it literally harkens me back to the whole Brittany Griner thing, which is still going on. And that should show you alone how much these feminists actually give a fuck about Brittany Griner. And like you said, it lacks integrity. Brittany Griner, her whole life, for the most part, oh, I'm better than men. I don't need men. Men ain't shit. This, that, and that about men. White men suck. Oh, LGBTQ, all this stuff. Yeah, fuck men, fuck dudes, especially fuck black men. You know what I'm saying? DeMarcus Cousins, NBA All-Star. Nah, I could beat him in a one-on-one. Just all reckless, talking all this shit. And now your stupid ass got locked up in Russia during a fucking war. And you know what? You're still over there. You talk all shit about Trump. I guarantee you, if Donald Trump was president, she would be back home. I'm just throwing that out there. Guarantee you. And how can I say that? Because when LeVar Ball's son was in China, stole some shit, he didn't just bring him back. He brought all three of them niggas back. All right? So, you know, but like you said, it lacks no integrity. They literally abuse the hell out of their freedoms to the point where they don't even think they have any freedoms. They convince themselves that they don't have freedom. They can't do anything. Yet they go around like just saying the things that they say, believing the things that they believe in. That's freedom in itself. And they're literally missing the whole essence of freedom. You know what I mean? I think that they freedom for these people, for these loonies, is this is my opinion, based on what I see from them and hear. Freedom for them is, I can do what I want, when I want. I never have to be held accountable or responsible to anything. So if I contradict myself, it's okay, because now this is what I want at this moment anyway. Basically, that's whimsicality at its finest. And you can't have an orderly society based on whimsicality. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't work like that. You need order. Order. And, you know, hey, it just so happens that order comes from the men for the most part. Because most women can't leave flies of shit. You know, no, I mean, that's serious. If there's a dude and he's following a man, he's following a woman, then you know that nigga's not going nowhere. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some women out there that, you know, are great leaders naturally, but that's a very, very small percentage, and most women know that. Most women know that. They know they're not a leader. They know, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they probably won't come out nowadays and say it, because not even what the men will say to them for saying it, but what the LGBTQ community would say. Not even what other women would say, but what the LGBTQ community would say to them for saying that.
Bro, we've gotten to a point where I saw a podcast episode from a very popular podcast where, like, we've gotten to a point where PC culture has created such a stranglehold on people's ability to be able to provide their own views, right? You know, their own contrarian views, to where people are now so comfortable with the safety bubble that man has created for the opposite gender that now they're able to just speak so increasingly demonstrative against against us, right? Against men, right? Like I watched the question be asked where they were like, if in a time of danger, if you were on a plane and a man was and you had the choice between a man pilot and a female pilot taking you home, right, getting you home out of that danger, which one would you choose? And you what you saw was it was like a panel. I think it was like 6, 7, maybe 8 women, and like 7 out of them capped and were like, oh, I mean, I would say the female.
Okay.
So like some were like a good amount said the female, and then some were like, well, to the best, I would want the best trained individual to.
The question isn't like that. It's like it's an emergency. You gotta choose at the moment. You don't get to look at the credentials. You saying like, who do I feel safest with?
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. Yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. So no, but that is essentially the my reaction, right? Was that like I'm looking at the way these girls are answering. They're acting like they're on an episode of Jeopardy, and I'm like, and then the guest had to call them out and was like, yo, you guys got to cut the shit, man. Like you guys have such a slave mind, right? Where you now don't want to be contrarians to your own hive brain, right? To your own fellow woman, to the point where you can't even use reason.
Yeah,
if you have the difference between a man who's 250 pounds or maybe 210, maybe 190, 195, being able to go against G-force and pull the reins back on with the equal amounts of training and pull back from G-force on a plane that's potentially going downward, you're telling me you're going to want that you're going to choose between a female and a man in that situation, that you even have to think about that?
No, it's not even
that's insane to me.
Same thing for a firefighter. If you're in a burning building, do you want the firefighter coming in to save you? And we live in an obese society, so a lot of y'all women, be careful with your answer. Would you want a woman firefighter coming in dragging you out, or a male firefighter going in dragging you out? And again, I'm saying that to say, because the hypothetical that my co-host just brought up, I never heard before. But once he brought it up, I get the structure of it. So basically, what it illustrates is that there's no such thing as equality. So you can keep trying to fool yourself that exists, but it doesn't, because in real brutal circumstances, you're going to go with the innate proper response, which is, no, I need the man, because that's his role. The man's supposed to be here protecting me anyway, and that's what you're expecting. If you're in a burning building and you see a woman walking, you're probably like, oh, I'm dead. You know what I'm saying? And nothing against women firefighters. I'm sure there are some great women firefighters out there. But let's just be real here. I'm 6'1" and I have 225 pounds. You know how big that woman firefighter has to be to come in with all her gear on and then pull me the fuck out? Come on.
Exactly.
That bitch is on roids. She's on roids. She'd have to be on roids. Or she'd have to be gargantuan, and no disrespect to her, especially if she's getting her nails did, made hair did, everything did. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the big girl. Watch out for the big girls. Shout out to the big girls out there. Let me get a cool bomb for the girls. Drop that bomb for the big girls, Mike. No, that ain't it. But
that ain't it. Oh, my bad. Hold on, I got you.
There we go. So let's just be real, man. She probably won't pull me out. I'll probably be toasty as fuck at the funeral.
Yo, this ninja's crazy. No, but to bring back to our topic, right? This is where like these conversations become moot for me, because like it's just like there's the disingenuity. If that's a word, that's being held within these conversations from people, from the freedom of people's phones, the freedom of their laptops, the freedom of their voices and their and their loud antics and the parading and the protesting. Hey, these are all beautiful rights that you have as an American citizen. So now that there's something that has occurred that has on the surface level seemed as though it's taken away your right to do anything, Well, I think that people need to start worrying about how they view perspective, right? Like, I think I think if your first thing is like, you're worried about what this decision has done for a person's freedom, I think we need to start saying maybe this freedom may be something outside of the realm of those ones that we all know and are all in agreement on to the degree, right? As far as, incest, rape, and all these other things, right? And or traumatic experience. Because I did hear that there are cases where doctors have to go through like a round robin and of like approvals before they can perform certain types of surgeries to be able to take out, a child that might be potentially killing the mother. So I understand that. And if those are cases you're fighting for, by all means, I need to see those on I need to start seeing those more. But when I keep seeing, banners, I keep seeing, signs talking about, hey, if I want to do it, if I feel like it, then I'm gonna do it. That's just like, we need to start talking about the repercussions of said actions. Like look at what's going on in this country as a result of some of these things. Am I saying that, that we should just be looking at these occasions and going and just throwing them with an iron sight? No, but what I am saying is that maybe a little bit more cautiousness in this area for a lot of people, right? Because if I keep hearing the argument about, well, I don't want to, my freedoms are limited because if I want to have this done, I can't go, I can't afford it, right? So then I can't afford to travel from, let's say, for instance, Louisiana, which is saying they're not allowing it. I would have the next closest state I would have to go to is Illinois or the Dakotas, and I don't have the money to pay. Well, if you don't have the money, right? It's like you guys tell men, if you don't have the money to be taking a woman out, if you don't have the money to be taking a woman out on a date, you know what I mean? And you're complaining about whether or not, how much you're spending on a woman. You guys give us shit all the time for these things, for having those kind of griping and moaning about this. Well, if you don't have the money to be affording that type of procedure or those accommodations, well, maybe it's probably in your best interest if you leave that action alone. So this is something, and I just think there's a little bit more accountability that we need to start taking. And I don't devoid the men out of this, and I think this is where we can talk about how, men are also culpable. And I think on this podcast, what you'll see is that's different from a lot of other podcasts that gear towards men. We're not skirt tailing the fact that men do have a part to play in this dynamic. You know what I mean?
It takes two to tango. That's my point. It takes two to tango. Hold on. I'm sorry to cut you off, but
go ahead.
There's some points I really want to touch on that we kind of glossed over. So in that first comment, you're not even free as an African American man in this country. Now, keep in mind, again, this is a Caucasian woman telling me. First of all, she's calling me an African American. Has no idea of my lineage at all. At all. She don't know me like that. But she's gonna prescribe me that and then say, based off that, you're not free. So that's liberalism at 101, which is actually like reverse racism. And I'm not here to speak about politics at all, but I'm just trying to let y'all know the plays that are being ran. This white woman, this not actually there was women, so I'll say these white women disagreed with my stance, right? But that's fine. Disagreements are natural. I get that. But now you're telling me that I'm wrong because I'm black. I'm not free. So now you're trying to indoctrinate me in this victim mindhood or mindset where it's like, oh no, she's right. I'm not free. No. I'm free. Just like my co-host said, I look, my life is my life. Like as I would have thought when I was freaking 13. No, not at all. And I don't think there's anyone out there that can say. Oh, that can answer that by saying, yes, my life is like that. Actually, it's better. You know what I'm saying? So
for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part, no. So, but I can tell you one thing for sure. I'm where I am at today, doing whole by all the decisions that I made and that I didn't make.
Right.
So if I'm not happy with where I'm at, I can only blame myself for making the decisions that I made and not making the decisions that I never made. That's how that works. So no, my freedom isn't based off of the gloved hand in the background pulling strings. You know, is racism? Well, I'm not even going to get into that because that's just something else. I can do what I want in this country. If I want to start a business and it becomes lucrative, then obviously through that money gained, I can live the life that I want to live. Nothing's stopping me from going out, starting a business, grinding, building it up, you know, and continuing, and then having something to pass on to my kids, giving them a head start. You know, now, if there were things stopping me, you know, we were in the goddamn like the actual like Auschwitz, you know, or like the ghetto or the U.S. internment camps, or literally back in goddamn Jim Crow era, then all right, then the case can and should be made that, hey, I can't do these things because of all these things holding me back.
Right.
But those things aren't, those don't exist today, and they haven't existed for quite a while. So that whole victim thing is a mindset. So I really want to touch on that because liberals will be the first one to, a white liberal will be the first person to tell a quote unquote black person, oh no, you should feel like this. No, you're.
Bro, that is the most annoying fucking thing ever.
But they do it, man. That's literally
I know.
And then this one just came in, Mike, and I wanted to pull this up because this is something that my wife brought up once, and I had to educate her. Obviously, that's my job. You know, I got to educate. So I'm gonna read it. I'm obviously not gonna drop no names, but this chick or dude, who the hell knows? If it's a dude, it's definitely a sin. If it's a chick, whatever. So the person says, dude, you got to do some research before you just throw shit out here. Now, keep that in mind, y'all. This person's saying that I need to do research, alleging basically that I don't know what I'm talking about, i.e. I have not done any research. Dude, you got to do some research before you just throw shit out here in the U.S. in 2019. So this person's citing something from 2019. So what do you guys, you think this person knows the stats from 20 off the back of their dome, or you think they just looked up the first thing that they can find on Google and it was from 2019 and that's what they went with? But, you know, when we use our brain, we can see through the bullshit, right? So, dude, you got to do some research before you just throw shit out here. In the U.S. in 2019, black women accounted for 38% of abortions and 33% for white women. Yes, that means more black women get abortions. That's because of that systemic racism we were talking about earlier. So this person is going to tell me, and again, this is a Caucasian person. Keep that in mind. Yes, what that means more black women get abortion. That's because of that systemic racism we were talking about earlier. So I have a Caucasian person tell me about systemic racism, right? Okay. The liberals, and again, this isn't a political channel, this ain't a political video, and I'm not even talking about political, liberal from a political standpoint. It's also your lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. So, that's systemic racism we were talking about earlier. It's because there is unfortunately more poverty in people of color because many of their ancestors were stolen from their land and enslaved. Even when they did become free, they still, all right, color of skin, going on and on and on and on and on. All right, so look, ultimately, this person doesn't know shit. Want to know why? Two things. First, and I'm going to use his stats or her stats whatever to dismantle this person. Mike, are you with me?
Yeah, I hear you.
I'll be brief. So, 2019, black women accounted for 38% of all abortions. That means they were number one in abortions, and next was white women at 33%. So black women had a 5% majority over them, right? Now, when we look at demographics, black women make up between 6 to 8% of the total population. White women triple that number, quadruple that number. So when you take all the stats, when you actually do your research, whoever the hell you are, before you come for me, I should put your name out there coming for me like you know something, because you don't know shit. Because how the hell does 6 to 8% of one demographic make up the overwhelming majority of abortions? But you're not going to talk about how that's systemic. You're not going to talk about how that's systemic, how Planned Parenthood is all up in the hoods. You're not going to address that. Why are we killing black babies at such a high clip? How come such a small demographic is having so many abortions? Oh, but you know what they'll tell you, Mike? Oh, well, you know, if the mom's gonna die, or if the babies are really sick or raped, all them bitches was raped.
Oh, grape.
All of them. Come on, let's be real here. Let's be real. 6 to 8% ain't doing 38% of all abortions because they all get raped. All right, and they all not having medical issues. Last time I checked, like you can look at quote unquote black women all across the globe, and they're literally having babies in jungles, literally in jungles. But you want to tell me the ones in America with all the civilized healthcare, they're the ones that got to kill the babies because she was gonna come on. Let's stop it. Let's stop with the liberal ideology bullshit. I'm tired of that. Let's just be real. You want to say something? Say it. I'm all for killing babies. Say that. Don't try to tell me, a quote unquote black man, how the hell I'm supposed to think because I'm a quote unquote black man.
Oh my god.
How you gonna tell me to do some research? You don't even come on. 6 to 8%. 6 to 8% is doing 38% of all abortions. That's total abortions in the country. That's including Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Asian, all Hispanic, all Latin, white, everything. Native Americans, including all of them. But this very small group of women. Okay, yeah. I'm supposed to just buy that, right? Okay. All right.
For me, it just goes back to the sensationalism that a lot of people sort of subscribe to whenever these kind of contentious topics come about. It's very troubling how people take like that stat line that we're talking about, and even if that stat line did have merit, right, the fact that people aren't taking the time to unpeel the layers like my co-host so eloquently did and provide additional context that can be verified if you were to actually read the stats behind the numbers, if you truly were all about doing your research, right? But because people are so fixated on that need to be right, and because they need to be able to cape and white knight and and virtue signal, they can't even get themselves out of their own ways before they sound ridiculous. And you know what will happen? Those people that are going to comment on that post and put up shit like that, because people are so incensed by sensationalism, they're going to like it, but you're going to see 4 to 5 to 8 to 10 likes depending on the traffic that post gets. And this is something that is just crazy. I mean, logic and reason has gone out the window. We have now seen a country, right, that is on both sides of the spectrum, that has now succumbed to emotionalism, and it's very scary. As a person who is simply looking to have conversations of substance, right, about issues that are plaguing our society, we can't even really get anywhere in these conversations because nobody is dealing in the realm of reason whatsoever. Everything is I feel, what, how fucking dare you, what you guys are taking away my life, my right to live. It's just like, whoa, hold on. Tomorrow it's going to be 8:30 in the morning. You will be at work. You will be doing the same thing. For the majority of y'all, you guys will still be doing the same thing. You're still going to go out on Friday. You're still going to get your cheese clap on Saturday. You're still going to walk around. You're going to still have unprotected sex, not on any contraceptives, even though there's 32. You're still going to do the same things that you were doing before. All this did for you was give you some time to take some time and get some fresh air and have something to talk about. Which is fine. I mean, everybody, you need fresh air. You can't, we all need to get out there and go play. That's something, do what you got to do, right? But don't come to me and expect me to just jump on the bandwagon of your causes when in all actuality, you really could give a fuck less if I have an opinion on it or not. Mm-hmm. The only time you care is if my opinion runs in succession with yours. And then to me, that's a bit disingenuous. Because you guys say you don't want I keep harkening back to this. You guys say that you don't want men to have any input on whether or not there's any decisions or anything like that involve the female body. Cool, but then don't come in the same breath and then try to act as though you actually care. If I try to say, what, looking at it from another perspective, no, you're still there's still going to be you crazy feminists that are going to run out here and then start shaming men for having an opinion about anything. I could say the sky is orange. I could say the sky is blue, and you guys are going to be like, well, no, you know what? In my eyes, there's sometimes where if you see aurora borealis, it's actually green, purple, pink. There's a little bit of indigo in there. It's not exactly blue. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, for me, it's kind of like, what? How? I don't even want to have a convo. My co-host was asking whether or not we should do it, and I want to give this because, you know, I'm thinking back on this. Like, if we've gotten to the point where we talk about everything on this podcast, right? We really don't give a fuck. It has become so tiresome to have these conversations to the point where my co-host wanted to do a reaction video on Roe versus Wade, and the reason why I didn't jump, speak for myself. The reason why I didn't jump on it was, for one, because y'all heathens spent months telling us that we had no right talking about any of this shit. But then I have some girls, oh, hey, you know, well, what do you guys think? What do you now you care what we think about it? Now you care? You now you want us to go vote? Because I mean, obviously, you know that voting and all these different things are going to be the difference between your state being able to or not. But now you guys want us, you want to convince us now to care about your stance? Like, oh, okay, that was very convenient. You know what I mean? So look, man, I'm losing my voice. But when we're talking about, you know, but back to this topic of freedom, are we really free? I ask these Americans that have this incessant view. I'm not the type of guy that says, oh, you know, if you don't like it here, go somewhere else. I'm not that type of guy. I would never be that type, because I think that in any, you know, in any society, you should have the ability to question the leadership, to question where your leader is taking you. If your leader is not providing you a bona fide game plan as to how your country will move forward, I believe you absolutely, based upon your country's parameters, your law parameters, you have the complete right to do so. Right? My problem is when people just complain about how things are, the state of affairs, but then when voting comes around and you ask people who they voted for, no, even worse, they'll be like, oh, well, I don't think I should have to tell you who I voted for. And they didn't even vote. They didn't even vote. So what the fuck? Because you know how stupid you're going to look when the ballots get passed to your house, because they come to your home. You can go down the street from your fucking house, most likely at some middle school or high school, at some elementary school. You're telling me you had no time to be able to go vote on these important topics, which is a freedom that you freaking asked for. Women asked for it vehemently, that they died on the cross asking for this. You guys and sensationalized, even though in all actuality, women did not, on a majority basis, did not want to vote in 1920 when this was rectified, because they knew what would happen, because they knew that with authority comes responsibility.
Yeah, great responsibility, Uncle Ben.
And they knew that if they did have voting rights, what would happen? They're going in the draft. They gotta be firefighters.
Yeah, you gotta be equal.
Let's be real. The majority of y'all weren't trying to fight no fires with fire. Okay, you ain't no Tony the Tigers out here running around in the fire saying, great. None of y'all wanted that shit. Y'all wanted no smoke.
Literally.
But let the tale of the few tell the story of the many, and you would think that every woman in America in the early 1920s was begging to vote. Yeah, they were begging to vote.
Yeah. Well, we want to go out.
Happen.
No, we want to do all this.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No. But you're right. You know, the story of the few. You know, is not the story of the many. And you have me cracking with the Tony the Tiger line, man. Yeah. But
it's crazy out here, man.
But I mean, again, hey, you know, what is freedom? Freedom is having a choice to decide what the hell you want to do in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Basically, and if you are in a situation where you don't find yourself with that ability to make that choice, then it's probably because you made a bunch of poor choices in your life. And again, you know, something I'm sure you've heard, Mike. I want to hear your thoughts on this. Obviously, I already have mine, and we can get into that. But I want to hear yours first. Yeah. The whole thought of my body, my choice, as it pertains to babies. Bless you.
Goodness, excuse me. Thank you. Sorry, I might have the COVID. Well, I'm sorry. What'd you say?
I said I want to hear your thoughts
The last part,
on the
I heard
whole
the
my
my body, my
body,
choice. Yeah.
as it pertains to pregnancy and babies.
Oh Lord. Well, before that begins, let me just give a quick
Oh my God!
and a little bit of.
How dare you!
All right, just because this is probably gonna come. You know what? Man, I'm conflicted. You know what I'm saying? Because with this stance, right? I fully get it. You know what I mean? My thing is that if we're gonna talk about the my body, my choice, cool, awesome, right? I think that if I have a very concrete stance, I do believe that abortions make absolute sense for the great situations, for those myopic surgeries that are needed when the difference of a life and death for the woman, and there's not a huge success rate for the child to be born. I understand that completely. I support that with full-heartedly. I see the nurses are out there, advocating and sending out information, which I appreciate. This is part of what happens when you're giving out valuable information as opposed to something incensed and emotionally driven. Excuse me, feminist. But excuse me. Let me just. So I think that when I hear the word my body, my choice, I think that there's just a ton of hypocritical craziness that goes into it, right? Because that whole thing has always bothered me, to the point where it's like you tell men that they're responsible 50% for this I don't say miracle, but for this for that pregnancy, right? But then at the end of the day, you then skate away and slap away the 50%, and then you give full autonomy to the woman. So for me, there needs to be we need to pick one, because if you're going to say that you have full autonomy, then, well, if I say I don't want any part of this, and I told you I don't want any part of this, well, then you should be damn sure staying away from the courts, staying away from financial aid, staying away from Uncle Sam, staying away from all of these different venues, and get my name out of it.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand this. Like this is something that has bothered me about this whole thing, because I'm all for, you want full authority, well, then I guess what? Hey, you got full responsibility, but don't come crying to me when you need me, a man that has given you my view on whether or not this baby should be coming to terms. If I'm a man that supports abortion, supports deletion, and you're gonna go ahead and continue with it. Oh wow, that is like whoa, wow. Talk about the ultimate fuck my life.
Oh,
you know what I mean? As if I don't care. Like, there's nothing I say has any merit. Like, I've heard a woman say, like, well, yeah, like, no, like he's got, like, so the guy doesn't have any, so the baby's guy has no say in the matter. Oh no, he can give me his opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm still gonna do what's best for me anyway. What the?
Yeah, exactly.
So you just basically said he doesn't have a say.
Yeah, he doesn't
You
have
just basically said all you're good on is him just giving you some lip service and giving you and you're just gonna do the Charlie Brown boy, the wah 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 wah. That's all you're gonna do to him, and then you're gonna book that appointment at the clinic, and then you're gonna go ahead and do what you want to do anyway. That to me is insane. That is absolutely insane.
And if he wanted it, he has no say. If he wants it, you don't. You terminate it. He has no say. If you don't, you terminate it. He had no say. All right. So let me
very well said.
Let me give my thoughts. Because I appreciate your honesty on that, Mike. Because I don't want to say it's a tough question. I don't think there are many tough questions out there, to be honest with you. I haven't really found one yet, but I'm looking. So anyway, as it pertains to my body, my choice, and that whole argument, it's more of a straw man, if anything, because if you have cancer, a tumor, gangrene, that's your body. If you want to cut that shit out, that's totally your choice. That's between you and your motherfucking doctor. And ultimately, if your religious beliefs contradicts you doing that is still your choice to make. If you say, I want to live with this and or die with that, that is totally your right, and I'm 100% behind that. Now, when a man injects, we have to use the proper verbiage here. All right, when a man injects his semen into a woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have conception, and that begins to grow in the woman's uterus, which the woman's uterus only has one job, and that is to literally house a baby. Okay, and give it everything it needs.
Yeah.
Its protection. It's literally a home. Okay, that's the uterus's job.
Right.
So if you were to ask a woman right now, not pregnant, is this your body? Yeah, that's body. Okay. And now, in 2 weeks after your homeboys ran up in her and left his remains, now she has something growing in her. No, I'm going to be vulgar. So I want to make this illustration as visible. I want to make this illustration as vivid as possible. Homeboy skis up, and then 2 weeks later, oh, she's pregnant now. So, but last week she was sure that that's her body, and now this week she's sure that this is her body. How can that thing growing in that was injected by homeboy? How can that be your body? Because that injection, you were growing. This isn't cancer. This isn't gangrene. This isn't a tumor. That just happens an anomaly. I have not seen a woman outside of the Virgin Mary give birth. And actually, I didn't even see that. I've never seen or heard of a woman outside of the Virgin Mary giving birth. So again, if that were the case, then hey, you can do what the fuck you want, because literally that is your body, that is your choice. Somehow, some way, your body, manifested itself to be able to create that. That's something. You know what I'm saying? That's remarkable, to say the least.
Absolutely.
But when we take into account the fact that you need that injection from that man to create that baby, it is not your body. It's not your choice. In fact, once conception starts, there's another body being in that uterus. That is the uterus's job. That is the uterus's job. Y'all with me so far? If y'all with me, can I get an amen? No, I'm not gonna make it biblical. But if y'all with me so far, put a like, share this shit, whatever. Let's get it popping. So I'm gonna keep on going, right? So once that conception comes, that's a baby. That's a body growing in your body. Now, when babies are born, do women still say that's my body? I have a 1-year-old son. He'll be 1 in a week. Does my wife ever refuse him for being part of her body? No, because he's not. He was never part of her body. He was in her body. He was in her body, in an organ whose job it is to house and protect a different body. So no, your body, your choice only applies if it's something that literally has to do with your body, i.e. cannibalizing itself or freaking, cancerizing, for lack of better terms, itself.
Right.
Because you cannot just make a baby on your own. And again, back to your point, Mike, if that is the case, if you want to say, hey, you want full autonomy, then there has to be a trade-off. And I agree with that. But say y'all want to fight this all the way to the cows come home. You have to, if you're going to use logic at that point, you can't just say, okay, logic, we don't need you anymore. No, we need logic to finish this shit the fuck out. So logically, if you want full autonomy, and this is truly your body, which I just explained to you, it's not and it can't be, then you would say, yeah, hey, I want the baby. You don't want the baby? That's fine. He's waived of any duties, yada, yada. If he wants to do whatever, he's more than welcome to, but this is my choice, my body, my choice. It's funny how they're pro-choice, their body, their choice, but they won't make these fucking choices, right? Like, come on, man. That's why it lacks integrity. There's no integrity.
But what's crazy to me? I think I heard an interesting, and somebody can check fact check me on this. What I heard was that women that are below a certain threshold in income actually frequent. I think this might go back to that comment, but they frequent these Planned Parenthood clinics even more so to get these deletions done than women who make believe it was like between 40 or 50K and above. They essentially make that choice more so to have it because they know what can happen. The effect that can have on their career if they go ahead and go through with the pregnancy, especially not knowing if the man is going to really be there for the duration, right? And I say that to say that this is just what I get the sense is that women are really looking very hard for something that they can say that is a right that only they have and that men don't. I don't see this. I see this as a very big. I see this as probably one of the biggest virtue signaling things that because everybody thinks this is a patriarchy. They think that we are in a society that is dominated by males, and that males are better than women, and that males think that they are better than women, and that women are beneath them, and all these other things. They have all these viewpoints on men. Fuck ninjas. You know what I'm saying? Women are openly bashing men. On social media airwaves. There's open misandry in the streets, right? But let a man say, right, that he wants to protect his wallet, and this man is a deadbeat. He is a charlatan. How dare he bamboozle this woman into thinking that he wanted a kid with her? How dare he Pookie and Ray her into a pregnancy? This is just something that is just, it is the basis as to which why this country is going down the tubes, right? This sense of anarchy, this sense of unneeded, incessant destruction in these streets, right? And the wish to kill babies. My co-host, okay, can I get a hallelujah from the congregation, please? If my co-host so eloquently broke down the paradox as to which my body, my choice, right? I asked this to the congregation. If there is a woman who is pregnant, right? We all will say that she's pregnant. 2 weeks, 4 weeks, you name it, 1 day, 2 days, she finds out, oh shit, my life's changing. God forbid she's walking across the street one day and a car. He's texting. He's on his phone, bullshitting. Oh man, that girl got a fatty. Oh my god. Oh, smack hits her. Hits this pregnant woman in the crosswalks. Are we then at 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? Are we going to say that, and God forbid this woman loses her life? Are we going to say that this was a vehicle manslaughter? Or are we going to say this is double homicide?
Double homicide.
What do you think the law says about this? Why do you think the law says this? Why do you think we have these laws in place? For these reasons. Because, hey, look, I don't know, man. Maybe these guys were thinking that when someone says they're pregnant, that means that there is somewhere down deep someone who is living within. Mm-hmm. And if that is the ultimate form of, your laws are telling you what you guys are trying to push to the side religiously, consistently on a day-by-day basis. Your points you would understand that your points are null and void. And I just find it very very, very alarming, right? Because those same women would say, yeah, no, it's double homicide. He killed her and a potential baby. There was a baby. Yeah. She was pregnant. She was 2 weeks.
Let's ask this question. Because I think most people get that. Right? But the hard part is bridging that gap. No. Maybe, but I think the hard part is bridging.
The reason why I'll give you a second. The reason why I say that is because I saw on a podcast. This is where I got the question from, and you had women literally saying vehicle manslaughter. The common sense is gone, man.
No, but that common sense is gone. Goes back to what you said earlier, where they say things they don't want to say things contrary to like their.
I get that, but like you just said, most people would agree with it. I'm saying,
yeah, not on the panel, not on the panel discussion. If you're asking someone like just you one-on-one,
right? No, I get that.
The majority are going to say the right answer. So
I would hope so. You have a lot of faith, and I appreciate that.
So to add to that, I think is the true testament is, what if we live in a society where it was like, all right, so he killed a pregnant woman. Does anyone know if she wanted the baby or not? Because if she didn't want the baby, then he's only going to get 7 years. But if she did want the baby, he's going to get 14 years. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be like, no, give him 14 years. because he killed her anyway, and they're gonna say, yeah, she wanted it, and she could have been like, no, I don't want it. I'm actually on my way to Planned Parenthood.
Ooh.
I was walking to get it aborted. So, you know, where
that
does
question is not being asked. That question is
Exactly.
not. I don't hear that. Yeah, no. That is. Ooh, yes, yes. Okay. No,
my wife's
looking.
She's like, oh shit, that's a crazy question. I can't even answer that question. You know what I'm saying? That's the face you made. That's the face you made. That's my point. You know, you won't hear that question being asked because again, the problem is women get out too. You know, they want to, you know, literally in all my Facebook posts talk about how they're unfree, but they get coddled to all the goddamn time. All the time, women get coddled too. Okay, so like, no. Did the bitch want the baby or not? Since apparently that plays basically a human life is predicated upon whether the mother to be wants the baby or not. If she wants the baby, that is a life. If she does not want the baby, it's not a life. Regardless of whoever the hell else thinks and or knows, whatever the father to be thinks and knows, or what the fuck he wants, it doesn't matter because a life is determined by the woman. And you know what? That is way too much power for a woman to have, period. You can call it what the fuck you want. I'm not for that. Now, like Mike said, the grape situations and all the other, like, terminal cases that can come through, like, you know, I don't say poor pregnancies, but like pregnancies going around. Hey, yes. I'm with that to a degree because the answer about it and as a whole is no. As a whole is no. But I understand that these things happen. And so if people want to make those decisions, hey, luckily for you, you have the freedom to make the decisions in this country that you live in. You can make those same choices over in a different country. And I think the biggest example of freedom is you actually get to go and fucking vote on it. Ultimately, the Supreme Court, what they did was they corrected a wrong that has been going on for over 50 years. Close to, roughly. Because think about it like this, Mike, and the viewers and listeners alike. The Supreme Court made a decision way back when with Roe v. Wade that was out of their jurisdiction to make. The Supreme Court cases go to the Supreme Court because they can't find they can't get it mitigated. They can't get it figured out. So it goes up and up and up, and we need your supreme understanding of the Constitution and the U.S. doctrines as a whole to answer this question, mainly the Constitution, right? So based off the Constitution, what are your thoughts on this? So the Supreme Court 2 weeks ago said, hey, actually, this case has nothing to do with the Constitution. So by us ruling on it back then was technically wrong. It should have never happened. It should have always been up to a vote to the states. So it's actually a good thing. And especially these liberals, they're the ones that like vote and Trump laws accept it. So how about y'all vote and accept what comes from it? How about that? How about that? Because again, ultimately, the Supreme Court, they corrected a wrong. If they already said that, hey, we can make because again, who really checks the Supreme Court? Who? No one really. You can't really check them. You can't really check them. You know what I'm saying? They're their own little thing. That's where they're supposed to just focus on matters that deal with the Constitution. So, but if they want them to deal with matters that are outside of the realm of the Constitution and then make a set precedent with that is terrible because who the hell's going to check them? They go unchecked. They do what the hell they want. They make laws and decrees, but they can't make laws. That's what the legislature for. The legislation is for. So again, by them doing this is a good thing because had they not, then who's held to stop them from doing some other nonsense that has nothing to do with the Constitution? Right. They could just go on and create as they fucking so see. So the fact that we have Supreme Court justices that was like, you know what, whether you think they are against it for their own religious reasons or whatever, ultimately, even if that is the case, ultimately what they did was say, hey, that's wrong. We have to we have to correct precedent because we can't do that. So as Americans, we should be paying attention. Like, okay, next time the Supreme Court does some shit like Roe v. Wade, whether you're supposed to say, whoa, you can't make Supreme Court. You can't. So now we're going to protest, and now we're going to march because they're overstepping their boundaries. That's outside their jurisdiction. But you don't hear anyone talking about that.
No, I'm with you. I think this is like one of those cases where, you know, I think I made note of this. This is just where, you know, people are just incensed because, you know, they aren't able to just essentially they have this idea that the country is on them. It's just basically it's out to get them, right? The boogeyman has appeared, right? And he's out to terrorize you for all of your rights and your privileges and your needs and all this other things. And it's really I just find it again, I find it extremely hypocritical, as I said before. You know, because when the laws benefit you, I don't hear anyone complaining about the divorce courts. I don't hear anybody complaining about, you know, 90% of alimony is paid from men to women. I don't hear about anybody complaining about the fact that custody rights are in exorbitant amount of numbers favoring women in the court of the lands. I don't hear women, right, having a ton of issues with that whatsoever. I don't hear them chanting in the streets and putting up signs talking about, you know, my wallet, my choice. You know, I don't see, you know, no justice, no peace. I don't see. Yeah, like I don't, and you know, as I continue, you know, just, you know, let me just make sure, you know, I hear you guys. I hear you guys out there. I know the comments will come. You know what I mean? I'm ready for it. You know what I mean? So it's just, you know, I don't hear, you know, it's very quiet, you know, when, you know, men are ailed. And I don't want to make this a men versus women thing, but I just find it interesting that, you know, when something does not seem that it goes your way fully, when it actually, you do get a choice. You do have a choice between, you know, simply just laying with the right person. Because again, we're talking about the 99% of operations that those are deletion operations. We're not talking about the 1%. We're living in the majority, not the minority. If you're just simply looking for the right to cast away any bad decisions that you make, well, sorry. I mean, you know, tough luck. I mean, I don't see you guys, you know, championing for men that are destroyed by divorce. I don't see you championing for men that are destroyed by parental rights and custody battles. I don't see you guys in the streets championing for them. So what I would say to you is the same thing you guys say to men. Hey, look, well, take it to the voting place. Yeah. Take it to a vote. Yeah. Take it to the courts. Right? Take it to your state. Yeah. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I saw someone say, you know, this person was like, well, you know, what do you do if a woman, you know, just doesn't, she says makes it hell for you to see your child and all that. Somebody just sent the blast. Take her to court. No, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that whatsoever. That was never on my mind. I never fathomed that the court would probably be the best place to. No, you idiot. Of course I thought about taking her to court. But guess what? Some people understand that probability is not the same thing as possibility. Right? If there is a probability that my shit ain't going to work out and I'm going to end up spending all this money on lawyer fees and she's still going to get what she wants and I'm not going to get what I want, well, maybe, just maybe, that option doesn't make any sense. But when we're living in a world, we're living in a country where you're able to go to the booths and literally drawn up signatures, drawn up support, drawn up, like if you think your shit is so righteous, and most women would agree in your mindset that this is a wrong that needs to be righted, well, then how come you're not voting on these things? Right? Is it just you know, I mean, if it's a case where you believe that the law is absolute and the law should have merit, right? Even for the better or for the worse, right? Because no law is perfect, right? But if the law says something, we can't just pick and choose the laws that we want to say, okay, well, hey, I want to adhere to this law and I don't want to adhere to this. All the Supreme Courts, all they did was simply, just as my co-host meant, all they did was simply right a wrong that was enacted, you know, 50, 60, 70 odd years ago. They made sure to say, hey, look, you know what? This was a right given to the states by our forefathers because they understood what happened with England and they did not want history to repeat itself. So guess what? They gave the power for the states to essentially make their own decisions. And all they're doing is basically saying, hey, this is the country that our forefathers put together for a reason, and all we're doing is just giving the power back to where it was supposed to be in the first place.
Exactly.
That's it. That is it. Now it is on the people to take that law and do with it as you need to. And if you really think, as I said, if you really think that people are supposed to be championing your cause with the abundance that they are, then get them to go vote.
Yep.
Get them to go vote on this. It's really not a complicated. It's not a complicated. It's not nuanced. You know, this is something, and this is a freedom. So back to the topic, right? You know, because this all ties in with the topic of the day. Are we really free? You guys got to be fucking kidding me. You've got to be fucking kidding me. We ain't celebrating shit. We ain't celebrating as you type from your $1,000 keyboard. You type from your $2,000 phone. You type from your access to your social media channels. You type from the pleasure of your American cars. Okay? And the house that was built by Americans. And the apartment that was renovated and created and put together by fellow Americans. I don't see you guys, and this was the funniest shit. I do not particle M.A.S Media. This guy is crazy. This guy chaotic. This guy was like, I mean, it was an extreme point, but he was like, look, guys, if you don't like it, right? Show me. If you're an African American person, if you're a person who really is flamboyantly against the United States, show me your African car. Okay? Show me, because Nigeria, which I didn't even know, Nigeria has in production its own car. I did not know that. All right? And if this is the case where you really just don't fuck with America, where are your out of America products? Where, if you really are all about the other parts of the world and you see everybody else doing things right that you think that we should be embolizing, where's your zebra, sir? Show me your zebra. I don't see a zebra parked outside you right now. Oh man. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm Nigerian. So guys, look. Oh man, we're about to get canceled. But I mean, like this is just. But I mean, it was a very extreme point that he made. But I mean, it does to me that it's kind of just speaks to a larger point where it's like, guys, I mean, if you want to show me what the rest of the world is doing so right and what we're doing so wrong, perfectly fine. I think there are things that this country can improve on. I think there are things that, you know, we could absolutely, we can, oh my God, can't domesticate a zebra. Justin, you are funny. Yeah. So it's, to me, it's like, you know, there's always room for improvement. I don't think there's any, I think that our forefathers created the Constitution in the hopes that people would have the same vigor and the same fortitude to take a stance on things that they felt were out of bounds and injustice, or were an injustice to their way of life, right? Much like they did against the Redcoats, and sorry, the British. You know, the British are coming. So I'm all for it. I'm all for, you know, taking these hard stances against, you know, things that you find you're passionate about. But what I'm not for is, you know, shitting on a country and just flat out saying that this country ain't shit and that this country is just for the birds. As you continue to live and breathe in this country every single day, knowing full well that you really don't want to be anywhere else.
Exactly.
So either
we couldn't pay you to go somewhere else.
Yeah. So either take the steps to make sure that you hold your country accountable, right? Because all that bantering and hollering and throwing poop and feces in the streets, you know, it looks good for the cameras, but essentially, you know, that's why Donald Trump still won.
No.
You know what I mean? So even though he was out here grabbing people by the vagina, so you know, and this is just, you know, it's fanfare. So unless you're going to do something about it, you know what you guys did, you showed up in large droves to vote in your boy Biden. You got your boy Biden in there. You got your boy. So if anybody's a testament to the fact that when you don't like something, you can simply vote against it. Look at your boy Joe Biden, President Joe Biden.
Even though there's a strong case that they cheated on that, but I'm not going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? I'm really not going to get into that. But there's one thing that you did say before we wrap this all up. I want to address, because you said, you know, and I get what you're saying. I don't totally agree with it to a degree. And I'm going to tell you why. I'll tell the listeners why and the viewers. You said
we disagree, y'all. It's not an echo chamber. Hey now. Hey,
so you said it's definitely not an echo chamber, but it just so happens that, you know, we discussed a lot of like big topics, and honestly, if you and I didn't agree on these big topics, we probably wouldn't be in a position to even have this damn podcast because we just wouldn't mesh very well. But anyway,
I mean, for the sake of a podcast, it probably would still work. People would probably be like, "Oh shit, no, oh fuck, oh, god damn." They be looking for the drama.
That's
They be looking for the drama. They be looking for the drama.
Yeah, that's probably what they want. They probably just want us to be out here cursing each other and shit. But anyway, so you said how exactly, yeah, black on black crime. So they love that. But you were saying that if people disagree, whatever, you're not the type to tell them to hate and go somewhere else. Then, and I get that. I totally get that. But where you and I kind of like split on that is, some of those people, they actually need to fucking go, because those people are like, they're trying to push this Marxist ideology, and socialism, communism, Marxism, it only gets implemented through one way, and that's through overturning of the government. So if you don't like America because we're not communists, then go to a communist country, because I'm not for, and I will never be for, this country not being capitalist. If I didn't like that, I would probably seek to live in a communist country. So again, those people, y'all need to go to a communist country, because look, I don't want this to be a communist country. I'm totally fine with my life playing out the way it does based off my decisions, because you know what, I understand accountability and responsibility. It's, if I drop the ball or I fall short on certain things or in certain regards, then I have to live with that as a man. And that's just how I would like this country to remain. You know what I'm saying? You can make yourself whoever the hell you want to. We literally have YouTubers getting fucking famous every day. TikTokers getting famous every day. Every year, I said this in the podcast like a year ago, Mike. Every year, there's 1 million new millionaires. Every year.
Oh yeah.
Every year. So there's no shortage of money being thrown around. There's always going to be sponsors and businesses that want people, to help them and stuff in that regard. So again, no, for those people, is one thing. Hey, no, I'm cool with capitalism and what the system is. I just think, we need some more checks and balances on this or on that, something more detailed, obviously. But if you just want to say, oh no, I want things to be like communistic or like, socialistic, then hey, there are countries that will fit your fancy. But I don't see you going there. I don't even see you trying to like go there to fucking visit. So, Brittany Griner, she went over there to visit. Now look at her. So go join her.
She was working out there too.
Yeah, that is true. She had a working visa. Yeah, she was dropping buckets. Yeah. Still trying to shit on men. You know what I'm saying, out there, and now look at her. You know what I'm saying? Now look at her. Looking for men to save her. Ooh. And again, but it's how you know it's the okie doke, because LeBron James, as we know, he's a billionaire. LeBron James got pulled all over the world. He got pulled with China. That means he could have got Brittany Griner out of it if he really, really wanted to. But don't be fooled when LeBron James and all them, oh, we stand with the WNBA. No, you don't. Y'all do that because Adam Silver tells you to do that. Anybody standing with the damn WNBA, but they are against you. They openly say that they don't like y'all. They don't fuck with y'all. Y'all get this just because y'all men and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, I get more bitches than you. You ever seen them talking greasy when they be leaving the clubs and shit? Like on the videos? Like, yo, these bitches be wildin', son. Wildin'. So, no, again, Brittany Griner, good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, this guy's crazy, man. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, that's all I got, man. That's all I got. You got anything left, Mike?
Nah, man. I think this was a great discussion. I think it was something that was a long time coming, because I've been seeing the fanfare for too long about how how much of a degabon this country is. It's a bunch of hedonism and craziness, and it's a land of the shackled, not the land of the free no longer. So I've been seeing this, and what I want to just say as final word to my viewers is, at the end of the day, I mean, there are zebras at your local zoo. If you don't like America, you don't like American cars, go grab you a zebra. right? You know what the zebras look like? They got the stars, they got the stripes, right? Go ride you a zebra, and I guarantee you, you'll be able to get to that mud hut in no time. So just get
that mud hut.
yeah,
That mud
yeah. No, he was wild. He was like, if it wasn't for Europeans saving you, basically sending you to America, you'd be still living out of a mud hut, riding zebras with a naked cloak. I was like, yo, this dude is fucking disrespectful and churlish, man. The whole panel was full of like African American people. And they were just like all their jaws dropped. They were just like, he said, you said what? He was like, yeah, you guys would be living in a mud hut, climbing pyramids. That's what you'd be doing if the white man didn't come and save y'all. I was just like, yo, this dude's boy is fucked up. But anyway, I digress. That's what the YouTube has out here, man. It's some craziness, and we're looking to be adding to that craziness with our podcast. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Right, I have my page at Qfusion. My co-host is also has his YouTube channel at the Truth Scope. Right?
Yes, Double A.Heff. Double A.Heff is the name of the channel. The name is the Truth Scope. But
right,
also,
your YouTube channel. Yeah.
Also, I want to just give some information to you and to the listeners and the viewers, because who am I to hog the information? Obviously, I'm not that type of person. So knowledge is power. So by doing so, I would have all the power. But again, I'm not for that, because again, I want to have good discourse. You can't have that if people are just uneducated and don't know what the fuck they're talking about. So there's a website that I reference not often, but because it doesn't change that often. But it's something that you guys should know about, especially you, Mike, if you don't. It's called black.com, and it breaks down all the numbers you need to know about quote unquote black people here in the United States. And it breaks down population, breaks down population by state, breaks down professions that they take based off male and female, what kind of degrees they get, breaks it all down. So take a look at those statistics, y'all, because far be it for you to get in a conversation with me and get fucked because you don't know the hell you're talking about, especially when I give you the test. So but I know that the liberals, no matter what, they're just always going to be like, hey, I know more than you, because why? Because you're black, white, and I'm white. So whatever I say goes. And, I hate to approach it from that standpoint, but there's no other way that I can rationalize how a quote unquote Caucasian person can try to tell me something about my lived experience and how I should act.
Mm-hmm. All right, real quick. Let me just hit the chats because we got some chats from the Most High. From Justin. First chat. I think before that occurs, we will be prepared. They have tried to separate us to make us weak. Truth is, only the loudest idiots believe in socialism. This is, I think, harkening back to my co-host point on whether on people leaving this country to go to more suitable partners. Unfortunately, they are the loudest. I continue. He also goes on to say, weak. LOL. He spelled it wrong, I believe. I'm illiterate. Justin also sent a comment saying, zebras would be cheap on gas. You're on to something. Yeah,
that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I hate
they would be cheap on gas. They would be cheap.
Don't do that, man. They're gonna clip it, and I'm gonna be the next big Uncle Tom out here. You can't make jokes anymore, man. Can't make jokes anymore.
Nah, you damn sure can't. Unfortunately, you can't tell the truth anymore either. So.
No. That's why they got the Truth Scope.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that plug-in right there. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, and thanks for all the support. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. It helps the channel immensely. And again, if you want to take a dive into the Truth Scope, check out my YouTube channel under Double F. Or if you want to see my boy Big Mike under Qfusion reacts to some. He be watching some crazy videos.
That's right, man.
Man. Oh, yeah. I don't even know how.
I'm a YouTube lifer, man. I'm a YouTube lifer. I'll be seeing it all, man. I'll be seeing it all.
So
And
definitely,
we got fire for all, yeah.
Yeah, we got options for everybody. We got options for everybody. You know, it's funny, Michael. Earlier today, I got out the car and I was thinking to myself because I was listening to one of my videos to like edit it, and I was thinking like, God damn, I'm spitting fire. So I got out the car and I said it's funny because you know, the people, they wasn't ready for the Messiah, and they're not ready for my fire either.
Yeah, we getting canceled. Yeah, this guy's crazy. Yeah, we getting canceled, man. Yo, this guy Justin. Yo, imagine we zebra wrangling tonight. Yo, this guy's crazy. This guy's gonna get us canceled
tonight.
But thank you, Justin, for the lovely support, man. You are always a champion for our cause. And we are going to, you know what, Aaron? I think we definitely need to find a space within our network to be able to get Justin's, amazing, point of view out to the masses, because Justin be spitting some fire. So we're gonna work on that, Justin. We'll definitely, keep you in tow, because we want to create more, as part of our vision. We want to create a network where, individuals, not just me and Aaron, can have a voice to be able to be able to talk about topics that are important to them, right? All within the guise of M.A.S Media. You know what I mean? So I think we'll have to probably change from M.A.S Media Channel to M.A.S Media Network. I think that'd probably be a better tagline. Ooh, shit, the bars that I spit. But yeah. So I look forward, y'all, to having more and more conversations with y'all, and I hope everyone had a safe 4th of July weekend. Oh Jesus! And
Salud.
Have a good one. We out.
Peace.
Are you sure about that?